Welcome to Duke United Show, and it's that time again. We're here to talk about all the latest ongoings with Man United. It's been a great week, and again, we've got a big week coming up as well. How's everybody doing? Garf, how are you doing first and foremost? All good?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, mate. Yourself? Yeah, big week coming. Big week coming.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, Marcel. I think you was down at the game as well, weren't you, yesterday? So, how was that?
I'm good now. I'm good, thanks. I wasn't actually at the game yesterday, unfortunately, but it was a good game to watch. Anyway, it was a very good game to watch.
Yeah.
And like everyone's been saying, massive week. This next couple of weeks, this month is a massive month. To be honest with you, Nathan, we've got how many games this month? What 9, 10 games this month?
It's crazy.
But now very
crazy.
Yeah, but very positive so far. So now looking forward to it.
Good. Alex, how you doing? How you feeling about this week?
I'm excited about this week. I just really want to see how we're going to respond, especially in the Prem, if we're going to keep on Arsenal's tail, on Man City's tail, Spurs' tail. Like, I want to see where we're going to position ourselves at the end of these games. But do you know what? I feel like we could take 7 points out of 9. I do.
In the next 3 games, you're saying? Yeah, in the league?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Wow.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about that in a bit, so I don't want to kill by that part of it. But yeah, that's the last thing we're going to be talking about. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous coming into. I think it's going to. Oh, we'll have a chat about that later. I'm not going to speak. Get your comments in, guys. Everybody in the comment section, get your comments in because you will be the 5th guest. Whoever the guest for each section that we talk about, we'll be talking about it afterwards. So King Eric's already got his words up, but I will wait and I will save that because the first topic of the day is, should the GEA get a new deal? Yes or no? And I know I need to start with the man called Marcel today because he is...
It should be short and sweet, Marcel. How many ways can you say no, mate?
What are you telling me? On what he's done recently, obviously you can see some improvements on his kicking. You can see some improvements on him coming out. You can see obviously his shot stopping has always been good. And obviously you're going to have the odd mistake every now and again. But yeah, seeing them improvements, does it give you any kind of confidence that we could continue with him? Or do you think, you know what, cut your losses? I know you're right, but come on, Marcel.
Yeah, I think we have to cut our losses 100%. I'm good, but I don't want to be overall negative, so I'll start with the negatives first. Then, he's not good enough for our side at all. I mean, we're restricted in the way that we want to play because of it. So I think, for a long period of time now, a lot of people have said that he's one of the best players, and the players even say that he's the best player in the team, or they award him that come end of the season. But I just don't think that's the kind of trajectory you want to go as a club, having your goalkeeper as the best player in the side. And that just speaks volumes in itself. Maybe it's not 100% on him, but that just speaks volumes on itself. I mean, right now, we've got to get rid of him. Cut our losses now. He's the highest paid goalie in the world, and he doesn't show. It just doesn't show. It doesn't show in his ability. But on the positives, though, I will say he's improved massively, especially in the last few weeks. Now it looks good, and I'm happy to see that. I want every single player that goes on there, a part of the 11, part of the 16, 17 that get brought by Ten Hag. I want them to do well. So, even though it's a battle inside, honestly, because I'm conflicting with myself because every week I'm thinking, just play Dubravka. Let me see Dubravka, please. Just put somebody else in, please. But it just never seems to transpire. So there's that. But I think he's been very good. I mean, against Everton was brilliant. Very, very good against Everton. And there's been a few other games where he's been exceptional as well. But long term, this doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It's restrictive. It's really strangling us, and it's been a huge problem that this club's had at board level. We can't seem to get rid of talent, whether it's and once we evaluate it and say, okay, they're not good enough for us. The likes of Maguire, the likes of Phil Jones, the likes of even De Gea, we really need to be able to get rid of them, accept the loss, cut the losses, and hopefully learn from those mistakes. Don't put your next goalkeeper on 350k a week. Marginally build him up. And I think that next goalkeeper should be Diogo Costa, by the way, from Porto.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He had a brilliant assist and a fantastic performance just the last Europa game. I think it could have been Champions League, not sure, for Porto. But I've been watching a lot of his games and he's fantastic. But right now, De Gea has to go. And I think he should go January, if I'm honest.
Wow. That is some big words said. Alex, you are next because we're going around the carousel. do you think his contract was the main sticking point here? Because it looks like that might be the big reason why he hasn't left. Do you think that's the reason why he hasn't left? And would you get rid of him as well?
Yes, I would definitely get rid of him as well. And potentially, I mean, who wouldn't turn down getting paid that much money? And then you've got your family back in Spain that you can send that money to and like reap the benefits. I mean, it's not a bad way to make a living. I just find his wage that, like, how much is he on? Like 380 or something, or
yeah, 365 plus bonuses, I think it is.
It's honestly, it's where United have been in the past 10 years and where we don't want to be going towards in the future. And I feel like that's just a wage that we shouldn't be paying for a goalkeeper that I feel like is mediocre at the best of times. Yes, he has been like our saving grace, especially last season, and when he came in and we won that Player of the Year and stuff like that. But for me, I like super keepers, and he's not that, and so I think that is where I'd like to see us move into a new direction. And I feel like as much as you need to, I guess, like goalkeepers, they do have like longevity, but he's been doing it for 10 years now. And like Marcel said, I really want to see Dubravka. I want to see what he can do with this United squad. And it's even like even the goalkeeper that played yesterday, Francis, I was like, oh my God, I like this guy. Like I need that energy, and I need that kind of newness in the team. So yeah, I'm just saying, bye De Gea.
Wowzers! Wow, the comments are hitting him.
It's January though. That's
wow. Garf, are you along the same lines of these two and the comments, or have you got something different to tell me?
Yeah, no, I'm coming from a different tack. First of all, I've got to say that for Alex, I think that you're just looking for something new here. Like De Gea is a super keeper. Yeah, you can't play out from the back, but his saves are amazing. And Dubravka, no. Like, I want to see him play in Europa League as well, but come on, he was Newcastle's like second choice goalkeeper. He is not displacing David De Gea. In a million years, he's not. Like, even if his ball playing ability is as good as Pirlo, he ain't taking De Gea's spot because of De Gea's shot saving ability. I think De Gea has improved a lot. The question I'll come back to is a new goalkeeper really a must for us in January? Don't think it is. Marcel is not having that. It is a must. No, not for me. It isn't for me a must. And then when we get round to the summer again, he's only 31, and the improvement I've seen so far under Ten Hag, I can see that going on. And listen, he's been a loyal servant to us. Like, I can't have De Gea out. I agree, Diego Costa, number one choice, like by a long stretch as well, in my opinion. I agree with Marcel. I can't see anyone else at 23 as well. Get him in young, fresh keeper. I'd like to see that as well. But De Gea is still decent. The new contract, it comes down to whether we're giving him less money or not. Because if he's going to renegotiate his deal and we get him down to 250 a week, and then we've got him on a 5-year deal and can sell him for 35, 40 mil, I'm on board, fully on board. Now, that's a pipe dream, because what player in their right mind takes a deduction in wages? But De Gea is a special case because of how much he's on. It is ridiculous. He's not just the highest paid goalkeeper in the world. He's like, he must be up there in the top 15 highest paid players in the world when you really start figuring it out. At 385, 360, whatever he's on, he's got to be close, you know what I mean? Top 20. So, yeah, I'm not adamant that he should go, but I agree that it may be time for a new goalkeeper, but I don't see it as being a priority for us. And no, not Dubravka. Europa League, League Cup, yeah, let's see him. But I can't, no. Not already. That could be a mistake that loses your run, you know what I mean? Like, by taking out De Gea and putting in Dubravka against a Newcastle or a Spurs, and he causes an absolute clanger, and he's done. He's never coming back. He should have played in Europa League, is where you should have seen him.
Look, before I start, I know Albert said something here. Let me take it off first, because I just want to say, Alex, your background is absolutely amazing.
Yes,
loving it. So that was the first thing I wanted to say, and then let's move on. Alex Higginbottom has said, I just don't understand what De Gea has done to deserve this verbal hammering from our fans. That's where I kind of stand a little bit. Like, I understand we could do with a better keeper that can pass the ball out and play football. But at the same time, I don't think De Gea is that bad, is playing that bad, that he's killing us so badly, if you get what I mean. I understand. I totally understand where Marcel's coming from. But I don't think he's a killer. He's killing up the team that bad. In terms of, like, you know, I was getting upset with the Maguire situation where he was... But I don't think De Gea is doing that. I think his shot stopping is still on point. He went through a period the year before last where he was letting in chances. And then he went through a great year where he was saving up the place for us. And then he's come back this year, and it's kind of like we had a few mistakes in them games against Brentford. And, you know, when you're thinking, bloody hell, why are you letting that kind of goal in for? And then you're probably thinking he's done. But for me, I don't think he's done yet. I can see him improving, but he's never going to get to the levels with his feet that we all want him to get him to. That's for sure. But again, I'd like someone to come in and take over his spot. Then we look to move him on, because I don't think he will be a second keeper. He's never going to be a player who's going to be on the bench, sitting there behind someone else. But if we can get this Costa in, I've never seen him. I've known nothing about him, so I'm not going to pretend that I do. But if he's good, I don't mind him coming in. If he can play with his feet, I'm happy. So, yeah, that's where I stand. I'm not hating on him, but if someone new comes in that's better than him, I'm happy. And that's it. We've got Carol here saying, Alex is my favourite panellist. Love that. Buzz her out. Get in, Jose Sa.
Can I just say something, Nathan, quickly?
Go on.
Sorry. So just to address Albert Hegenbotham, it's not about Albert what he does. It's about what he doesn't do. He doesn't do certain things that the modern game requires, and now it's like he's shortchanging us, because there's certain things that our manager wants to do for us to be able to get better advantages in other areas of the pitch, and we're not able to do that because he just doesn't have those abilities. So, you know, our goalkeeper requires certain things, and he's just not good enough for that job. So, unfortunately, you must move on. I don't want to be stuck with sentiment anymore. We have to take that out of it. We're going into a new era of Manchester United Football Club where we need players that have this ability and that and said ability. If he doesn't have it, then he must be moved on. It's very simple. He doesn't have.
That's what I wanted to say to that as well, because I was thinking, like, we can't be Player FC and be like, oh, De Gea's been here for 10 years and we need to stand by. Like, I understand that, yeah, he's shot stopping ability, but like when I'm watching other goalkeepers that can make assists and can actually like help their team, like have
the abilities.
Yeah, it's just that for me is what I need, is what I want from my goalkeeper. And I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing just when we're in danger, you're the last man that helps us out. But I want him to also be offensive as well as like proactive as well as reactive. That's what I need, and I'm not getting that. So.
Yeah, well, this is what's happened in today's game, hasn't it? It's changed from being goalkeeper first, and now it's player first as a goalkeeper, and it's a bit weird because that just reminded me of this McTominay-Casemiro situation where we know McTominay don't have them same abilities, but I like him as a player and doing what he does best. He's very good at breaking up play. And he's very strong, so no one can really get past him. But we know he hasn't got the abilities of a Casemiro. So then it's like what he doesn't bring is the reason why we needed someone else rather than what he does bring. And that's the same thing what you're saying there with the De Gea. So I understand that, but I'm on the other side where I feel the same about both McTominay and De Gea. They both can still do a job for us. So I'm not hating that I need to get him out, if you know what I mean. I'd rather, I know what you mean, you want someone to be the first choice. So I get that. I wouldn't. Yeah. At the end of the day, he's not going to stay, is he? If he's not first choice. So I get what you mean as well. Garf, I knew you wanted to.
Well, we can't get rid of him on that amount of money. This is where it comes back to for me. What you said to start with, like we cannot get rid of him on that money. And yeah, we'll just have to lose him in what 2025 on a free 2024. But before then, you can't. It's what I keep coming back to. For me personally, De Gea's shot stopping ability saves you points just as much as a goalkeeper who can play out from the back, gets you an assist, wins you points. Yeah. There isn't another shot stopper out there. Even Costa, he isn't a shot stopper like De Gea. So I just don't see it as being, like you're saying, I don't see it as being an immediate concern. For me, an out-and-out striker is the first thing we need now with Ronaldo on his way out, Marcel injury. Like, we need a guaranteed 25 a season up front before we start talking about at the back, I think. But you know, this is the football, innit? Everyone's a manager until they get on the pitch. And I can assure you, when I've done it, it was awful. We lost a lot of games.
We're on to the next subject because I know I want to fit it all in the hour. The next subject is here. It's, can Marcel be our main man at number 9, considering he comes back, he gets injured. He comes back, he's getting injured. Now, obviously, I did put a case out there about his injuries and about him not being so injured as people were thinking, and also having a better record than a lot of people were thinking. Me and Garf did a show, and we really did come to the conclusion that he is actually very consistent, and he hasn't really had that many injuries compared. If you look at all of his games of every season, he's played the majority of games each season, apart from the last season just gone, where he did play with injuries, and now it's hurting him because it's chronic injuries that have now taken longer to get over. When if he would have just rested at the time when Ole said play, he would have been all right by now, I believe. But anyway, Marcel, I know you got some thoughts on it. I don't know if you watched that case for Martial, but please, if you have this opinion and you don't know what I'm talking about, have a look at it later. But Marcel, what's your thoughts on that one?
Can he score 20 to 25 goals for us every single season? 50 to 25 every single season? I think the answer to that question is no. And for me, that means that, you know, as a Manchester United number 9, he's going to have to be displaced. I think majority of his goals for our club have been from the left wing. But he's fantastic right now in this Ten Hag system. So, you know, last season my belief was this guy's cannot go nowhere near the number 9 spot. You know, our best striker in recent times for me has been Van Persie. That was the last time we won the league. And he just doesn't have that kind of clean, crisp, confident finishing that Van Persie has. He doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. It's that simple. I can't explain it. It's what it is. So can he be part of the squad right now where we're in this and he's required to do certain things? Yes. But I think long term, you're looking at somebody that can guarantee you 20 goals, even in the Premier League. I just don't think he can do that in the Premier League consistently. I don't think he's got that ability, in my opinion. He's looking very sharp right now, and every single time he gets on the pitch, he's contributing to the side. But I still think you want the likes of a Harry Kane, somebody that consistently, season in, season out, also getting injured, but he's delivering you that 20 goals a season. So for me, can Martial do it? Especially because we're going to have him maybe for the next few years. He's coming into his prime. I can accept that this is maybe not his top level. He's doing well right now, and this maybe is not even his top level. So there's good things to come from him. I just think Ten Hag will still look for a guy that's elite level. You've got Haaland around in the league. You've got Harry Kane around in the league. They're pushing their teams to next levels. Jesus looks like he's maturing into the game now. So he looks like he's going to maybe reach another level. I don't know if Martial can do that right now.
Okay. Alex, what you got to say on Martial?
I literally agree with everything. I think the same. I was looking at his like the goals that he scored over the last few years, and I'm just thinking I feel like he's peaked already. And I like Martial. I think that as a player, I think he has the best hold-up play in the whole team right now. And I like the way that he can link up with Rashford. I think that they really read each other really well. And I love the way that he's defensive as well as offensive. So I like him overall. I just feel like he's 26 years old and he's constantly getting injuries. And I understand that those are things that have been happening over the past few seasons that haven't healed and stuff like that, and chronic injuries. But that's really gonna hamper us, and it's gonna really just like set us back constantly. I just feel like, as much as I would pre-season, Martial was like, yes, is this the start of what's going to come this season? And it hasn't worked out, and it's just so frustrating and so disappointing. So I feel like he could be a squad player, but I feel like as a leading number 9, I don't feel like he's the man to do the job and take us to be like winning and firing on all cylinders this season at all. So for me, I'm sorry, but yeah, I think we have to look elsewhere.
Okay. Just before we go to Garf, we got the comments here talking about Sancho. That is the next topic, so we will obviously read out them things. But if you keep it on the subject at the time, I'll be able to look and follow quickly and add you guys comments to the section. So Garf, what you got to say on Martial yourself?
I mean, obviously, after we did the show, the question you suppose is, Marcel poses, can he score 20 to 25 a season? Fully fit, all firing Martial? Possibly. Yes, I can't say he wouldn't. The problem is we haven't seen that in a long time from him now. A long time. Yeah, when he comes on, we see cameo performances where it's done well. What I haven't seen is him play 15 games back to back to back. But that has been his problem for a long time. Is he does well for something what Alex was saying. He does well for a few games to start with and then completely tails off, and you don't see any of that form from him whatsoever. I like him with Rashford. In this system right now, I'd have him as our main number 9 all day, every day of the week, because I don't think Ronaldo can, a bit like what Marcel said about De Gea at the back, I don't think Ronaldo can do that up the top for what Ten Hag wants. But in the long term, Nath, nah. The problem is his wages again. He's on 265. You know, I mean, we'd be expecting 40 mil for him. No one's buying him, so we're gonna have to stick with him. And I don't think it's a horrific option. I'd like to see another striker, though, personally, a real 20 to 25 a season, man, guaranteed, and not injury prone. Because, I know we did it, Nath, where we worked out that he scored a lot of goals, but that injury record then is hampering that. And when you look at it in the cold, hard, harsh light of day, it ain't good reading. when you dig into it like we did, going through all the minutes and everything, it's a little better. But when you look at his stats over the last 3 seasons, mate, they're horrific stats. So I'm not sure. We ain't got another option, I don't think, until the end of the season. So fingers crossed he gets fit and just starts busting the back of the net, because I think we all know that he's got it in him somewhere, or at least had it in him somewhere. Whether he can get it back again, I'm not sure, mate. I'm really not.
No problem. So Albert Igabottom says the question is, can we afford to keep him until he gets his injury problems sorted? Now, I'm just hoping he gets over them, because I know what he's capable of. I know what he can do. And I know what the difference is when you're playing with a team that's firing on all cylinders against a team that don't create nothing. Like, I know exactly what that's like. And then I know it makes a massive difference in your seasons. And who you're playing with makes a massive difference as well. So I can see that he's got some world-class attributes. I see that his finishing is top-notch. I believe he can score 20-plus goals a season if he was fit every season, of course, and if he was playing in a proper team that was continuously playing good football like we are now, rather than in those times where the best of our players couldn't do anything. So that's my point. When you look at his stats, I won't go through it again, but I believe, I don't look at it as, like I said, what I did is I looked at all his minutes and divided it into 90. And then I'm going to get a fair reflection on what he actually did. And that's what I did over my own career. When I came on for 1 or 2 minutes, I'm not counting that as a whole game. I come on for 1 or 2 minutes for 38 games in the season, and I've got 38 games, 10 goals. It's not really fair. I played 10 starts and I scored, I had 10 starts, and I had like 8 goals. And then the rest were sub appearances. Let's add them all up and count them as 90, and then we'll work out what we're doing. So for me, I think Marcel is a top player. I don't see many strikers out there in the world that you can actually get that are available that's going to be better than him. I just can't. I can't think of anyone that we can say today, right now, let's go get that striker. Because remember, Gakpo is not a striker. I think he's a winger. I think he plays on the right or the left. And I can't think of anyone else apart from Victor Osimhen. And I don't think his goal ratios even that high anyway. So again, I think it's yet to be proven that he can do it all the time. I believe he can. And that's my thoughts on it. So we've got here, Marcel is 100 times better finisher than Rashford, but fans hardly say anything about him. 100%, he's the best. He's the best finisher at the club. And he's the best finisher out of, if you were to say Harry Kane and all them boys, when the chances to goals, Marcel actually scores with less chances. And that's against with Salah, that's Jesus. If you go on the Premier League and you can go through their whole stats from every single season, and it shows the shots to goals ratio. I mean, like shots off target goals. It's got how many shots they need to score. Have a look, and you'll see Marcel is very good. It's just the problem is we didn't create chances for him. Remember what we were. We were, what were we called? Moments FC, where you have to do something out of nothing or get one chance in the whole game when we were playing with Mourinho. And he was the one. Remember Chelsea goal, bang, back, bottom corner. He was able to do that. And no one else really has that kind of finishing. But anyway, that's what I got to say. And let's see how it pans out. So we're on to the next section here. Japanese boy says, hey. We're on to the third section of this. We've got the third. We're on 23 minutes. That's all good. That's 2 down. Perfect timing. And we're on to Sancho. Can Sancho break back into the side? If yes, is he fighting for that left side with Rashford? Or is he going to be fighting on that right side with Anthony? That's the question, because we know he came on last game and it looks like he's got a bee in his bonnet. It's a bit of a Shaw situation here where he's kind of chilling, not really taking on his man, not really doing anything. He finds himself out the side and he's like, you know what? I need to get back to Dortmund, Sancho. Otherwise, I'm not going to play here. So he looked like he really was on it last night, coming on for 10 minutes and actually going at people and trying to make things happen. And it came from him where the goal happened. So, what do you got to say, Marcel? Do you think he can get back in this side? And where do you think Ten Hag will want to deploy him? Or do you think he's going to be both? I don't know. What do you think?
There's loads of good questions in there. And just to say, I think Ten Hag right now has got the Midas touch. He's every single time he puts on that sub, they're hungry, they're ready to come and put on effort for the side. So, that bodes well for the side in terms of a squad game. And I think he mentions that in one of his presses, it being a squad game. As for Sancho, though, I don't know. I think we saw good synergy with him and Delo on the right during preseason, and I thought, you know what, this guy looks like a right midfielder. We haven't fixed our issue. He looks like a right-sided player. We had those, and then he looked like, and people were saying he's a left-sided player, but he was playing well on the right. But I don't know. Anthony's his man. Anthony is Ten Hag's guy, so I don't think he's gonna be displaced on that right side. That is Anthony's spot. Anthony's hungry. He works. He presses. He does everything that's required for Ten Hag in that position. So I don't think he's gonna be displaced. He's a left footer as well. But we're gonna miss that synergy between him and Delo. And I mean Sancho when they come on, because that was very good. I think he understood the spaces. I think Sancho's a player that tries to wrong foot players and try and trick players. He's not a direct, aggressive on the ball kind of player like Valencia in previous time, or Ryan Giggs. So with that being said, he needs someone to give him underlaps and cause overloads. And Delo does that very well. Timing of it, I saw during preseason, looked fantastic. But on the left side now, you've got also good synergy between Rashford and Luke Shaw. So, that's also an issue for him. He doesn't really have an out-and-out partner that he's grown into the game with for Sancho, unfortunately. And he has to kind of improve a lot. I don't know for him. I think he's going to be on the left side if he does get an opportunity. A lot of people say centre attacking mid, potentially, in central areas. He's good in central areas. He can pick up central areas. But I think he's just going to be part of the rotation. I think it's a great headache for Ten Hag to have when he has competition in more than one position. And when they come on, they better improve. They better claim a stake for why they should be in the side. I think that's better. It's a squad game at the end of the day. We're in a very peculiar season where it's games every 3 days. So you're going to need that rotation. If you've just got your starting 11 playing well and the other players are coming off hot and cold, it's not good enough. But these players are coming in, they're affecting the score of games, they're playing well. So I think this is a good little melting pot right now, and Ten Hag has to manage that. I think we're nowhere near Dortmund level Sancho, and I think that might even take another season. But right now, he has been contributing. Game in Leicester, a few games Liverpool. This season, he's been contributing. Liverpool. So it's looking good for him, but he's just not the level that fans thought he would come in. The Dortmund Sancho. Even last season, he had a little bits of magic, bums of seat moments where he was like, wow, we want to see more of this every week. But it's not coming into fruition, but I think it will take next season. This season might even be just that bedding in period. And I think that's what it is for the whole squad. You saw yesterday, we didn't play. We had all this attacking, opportunities, but no goals. And I think we're going to get a lot of games like that. And we're going to lose games when we shouldn't lose games and things of that nature. So, Sancho is just part of that kind of bedding in, up and down process that we're in right now as a squad.
Right. Alex, what do you think of this Sancho situation? Are you still Sancho FC, or are you against him? Your face looks like you're a bit peed off with him a bit. I don't know. What are you telling me?
No, I'm not. I'm not peed off with him. I just think he needs to work on his fitness and just practice, train. Just really I think the team's changing as well. Like Rashford's coming back, so with Eriksen there, and with Ten Hag, new coaching style. So I think he's just adjusting to that. Really, I think. I kind of see him as a bit of an ambidextrous player. He can play on the right, he can play on the left. So it doesn't really matter where he plays. And I think if you look at his attacking output on either side, they're marginally the same. So I think he can. I don't think it matters. And I don't know if it's true. I think I remember reading this a while ago that his preference was actually on the left. I need to find that somewhere, but I'm sure.
Yeah, he said that. I don't know why.
Yeah, so I guess that suits him just as well. So I feel like, with Anthony on the right, I'm happy with that. And then it's good to have competition for places, because then this is what this does is it's going to make him step his game up. It's going to make him hopefully it's going to make him want to practice. It's going to make him want to train and be better and do better. So that can only be good for the team, really. I still have a lot of faith in him. I've been really disappointed with his performances lately, but it's just like even yesterday when he scored, when he got that assist with McTominay. It's just little moments like that when he does twists up players and stuff. I'm like, that is what. Can you do that every week, please? Yeah. Because I feel like he's so good he can just get in between the pockets and that. I just want to see more of that, please. More. So there's still hope for him, but I think he has to work hard to retain his place for sure.
Okay, so Garf, I want to ask you a question about this situation, because Sancho. You look at Sancho, you look at Anthony, and you look at. Let's take the goals. I think Anthony and Sancho probably scored the same amount of goals, right?
I think
Sancho's definitely got more. Yeah, he's got more goals.
Maybe
goals
they've got 3 each this season. Maybe it's 3 each. I don't know.
Right.
But here's the question for you, Garf. Who's actually played better throughout the games that they've played? Because let's take the goals out of Anthony's games. Has he played as well as Sancho's actually played? Or has he not, in your eyes?
No, they're different players, ain't they? Just quickly, this one, Sancho has got 6 or 7 goal contributions, 4 goals, 2 or 3 assists, and Anthony's only got 3 goals. So I'm just throwing that out there immediately. This Sancho isn't playing well. Narrative that's turned up out of nowhere is befuddling me a little bit, to be quite honest with you. Listen, we're never getting Borussia Dortmund Jadon Sancho. That's German league Jadon Sancho. We're not getting that. We play a different style. We play a different system. He's a different player. So all the fans need to get that out of their head immediately. Like, oh, we want the Jadon Sancho we saw at Borussia Dortmund. Not happening. We've got a different player. I think he's amazing. It'd be my first. Like, I'm in the minority. I know. I don't understand it. I think he's awesome. I think he does really well every game. I think he puts effort in. I saw someone in the chat saying he's got no fight in him. Couldn't agree less with that. That he isn't suited to the Premier League. Like, couldn't agree less with that. Like, I don't really. I think he's doing enough, and I think he's very unlucky that Ten Hag's got a man that he loves in Anthony and has brought him in and has just displaced him immediately when Sancho was doing better. Like, he'd started the season well. It's very unfortunate, you know what I mean? The question you asked, who's played better? Sancho all day. Who's been more exciting? Anthony, and that's what gets you. That's what gets you remembered at the end of the day, isn't it? You know what I mean? That is. No one remembers second place. No one remembers who gave the assist. It's who scored and who come top. Like, so. Yeah, I understand where people are coming from, but in my mind, no, Sancho has played better than Anthony this season thus far.
Yeah. It's weird. The good thing is, for me, is I like the fact that we've got competition for places.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the day, like earlier on, just a couple games ago, we were like, Rashford needs to get back to his levels. You know, if Rashford sits on the bench, and Sancho is going to be my first choice. Now, a few games later, it's Rashford needs to play. Sancho needs to sit for a bit. And if he comes, that's nice. That's what you want to have. So I don't mind. They're both playing well enough. They're not like bad anymore. Like, I don't think Sancho's ever played like to the levels of Rashford was last year. But like now, who's actually playing bad up there? Marcel, when he plays, we loving him. Sancho, when he plays and he scores, it's them games where we need something, he's come good. Rashford is starting to bang. Anthony's scoring goals and he's not even come 100% yet. I'm loving it. And Cristiano's bagged. So end of the day, I don't care who he chooses. We finally got a system and a manager that's going to pick the most informed player. And that's all I care about. And I don't want to have to talk about the player that's not playing. Do you see Pep talking about Mahrez not playing, even though he was top scorer last year? No, because Foden is killing it. And then he comes on, no one's even talking about Mahrez anymore. And then if Mahrez scores and Foden's sitting down, it's the same minute. Nobody cares. Alvarez comes on, bags a goal. Someone else comes on, bags a. That's what we're getting to now. And that's why we've won most of the games apart from City recently. So look, we're on a good run. Sancho's doing well. At this moment in time, you need to sit down. But the good thing we're seeing, sure, playing to the levels that he needs to play. And Sancho coming on to the levels that he needs to be reminds me of a certain Jose Mourinho when he had Marcel fighting against Rashford for that left spot. It was great. Remember when he came on and he ripped it? And then the next time he started and then he came on and ripped it. That's what I want to see. I'm loving what I'm seeing and I don't mind. You know, we don't have to always talk about the negatives about a player. I think they've all done well. And we've got Mary Stewart saying, I love Sancho, but he is not 120 million. Yeah, so here's the other thing that you just said there as well, about we're not going to see the Dortmund Sancho. I don't think we will. Because we don't play the same kind of football. The same way Kagawa came here, couldn't get any ball through. They're direct as hell. When Bellingham gets the ball, he's looked straight forward. And straight away, you're putting him through the middle and playing risky balls. We don't do that. So Sancho, I saw him when he first came trying to ask for the ball millions of times, never getting it. Same like Anthony right now. He doesn't get the ball too early enough at the moment, but hopefully Ten Hag is going to make him get on it much more and much quicker, and then we're going to start seeing some real ball playing. We've seen what he's done with Rashford. We've seen what he's doing with Martial when he's playing. We've seen even Cristiano now. He's now fit enough to play, and he's letting him play, and he will do a job for us. It's unfortunate yesterday that he wasn't really on the end of all them crosses or them touch any, a ball that fell in the box. Why wasn't it Cristiano of all players? It had to be Fred.
Fred, I said the same thing. I said it live as it happened. If everyone on the pitch, Fred, come on.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But,
Let me ask you quickly though, mate. Let me ask you this because I can't see how you have Sancho as rotation player. It's a lovely scenario to be in, and I've wrote to everyone, but he is a potential world-class player, one of the best to ever do it. You can't have him in a rotation system. He needs form and he needs a lot of games back to back to keep that form going, in my opinion. He's a confidence player. So to be bringing him in drips and drabs, I don't see that working at all for him. Do you see it actually being like, can you see it working for him personally, Jadon Sancho?
Well, look, we got a game on a Thursday, game on a Sunday, then game on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. That's 3 games in a week. Like, so if you're a rotation in that week, you're not really being dribbed and drabbed. It's like 1 game a week is not a problem. When there's loads of games, someone has to play, and the informed player has to play. No matter how good you are as a player, now how good your name is on the back of your shirt, if you're informed, you play. And that's what he should do, and that's what everyone should do. And that's why when James was talking about McTominay, I understand where he's coming from with that McTominay situation, but we still do need to play our best players that can perform and do more. And when obviously it was a bit of a different situation because he was just coming in the side and we needed to see him come in to up our levels. That's a different thing. But I still understand why he wanted to keep him in there. But at the same time, that's the manager's choice, isn't it? He decides, this time you're starting, this time you're starting. So yeah, for me, I think he can do a job just like every player. If they're going to be tired playing too many games, he's going to have a bit of a rest. And as you see, Eriksen got a rest this week, so we needed to rest him because we know the game on Sunday. Now, Sancho, he came on and he's looked buzzing. So if he can come on and buzz like that, before you know it, he might score 2. And then he might be the man in front, the man who's playing all the time. So, yeah, I think that's what you need in a squad to keep everyone on their toes, to be at the best. Nobody should be sitting there going, I'm playing every week no matter what. I don't care if I play bad or play average, I'm playing. No, Malacia got it. See, Malacia, 1 mistake. See, sit down. Sure, you're ready now. You better take that chance. Because if you do, you're staying in. And now he's the first choice. Rashford, first choice. And that's what we need. Anthony, keep doing what you're doing and you'll be first choice. The minute you don't do anything, Sancho's waiting. He's biting at the bits. He's waiting to come in and take your place. That's what we need. So just want to quickly read these last 2 and we'll move on to the next bit. I pay 0 interest in transfer fees. Yep, I don't care about transfer fees even myself. It's so irritating to see what most of Man United players do. Delayed passes. I feel pity for Ronaldo. He made many good runs and big passes. In the same time, he don't get good passes from others. It did happen quite a lot last game, and it does happen quite a bit. But that's what we're getting better at. You can see it's a work in progress, and I definitely think we're improving on that. In the last 2 games alone, we're creating chance after chance now. It's only a matter of time before it all comes together. Put Varane back in there. We're tight at the back again. And then we're going to look a lot different. So we're moving on to the next question. The next question is, let me just take this off. It's all about Newcastle game. How big a test will Newcastle be? We know how strong they are. We know how crazy they are with Saint-Maximin and some other players who are having a good time. But this is a big game. They're right on our heels. They're just behind us. And I said last year that this team is going to be up there with us this year. We're going to be fighting against them this year. I'm telling you now, and I'm scared. We better win and put them underneath us at least this year. And it's going to be hard next year as well because they got money and they're going to be spending up the place to overtake us. And I'm upset because they've got close to us very quickly. So, Marcel, are you feeling the same way as me about this team? Because these are no joke.
Yeah, they're exactly right. They're no joke right now. I mean, a lot when you look at them, they're players, player for player. I think Botman, very good centre back. Trippier's been playing very well, very good player. Saint-Maximin, Alexander Isaac, and Callum Wilson can score goals. Bruno Jimenez, or Guimaraes, he's been absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he's been very, very good, consistent throughout the whole season so far. So it's going to be a big test. Even Almiron, he's been good as well. They've got a good squad, and Eddie Howe's been able to get a good mixture of players. Joe Linton's come leaps and bounds from a striker position and come back into the midfield areas. Reminds me a bit of Dembele back in the day from Spurs. You know, used to be a striker at Fulham and then converts into a central midfielder and plays out of his skin. So they got a good squad, and we're talking about squads. It will be a squad game tomorrow on Sunday, I think. It will be about who utilizes their squad better. I think we'll be able to do that, you know, with the comfort of Old Trafford as well. I think we'll be able to get over the line. It's just they're coming leaps and bounds, like you said, throughout the season. They've had some good performances as well. Their ground is a fortress as well, so it'll be good to see how we fare on the return fixture at their ground. But Bruno's played well against Newcastle previous. Bruno Fernandes has played well.
Someone's written about Bruno, actually. Maybe this is harsh. We need to compare Bruno with De Bruyne. What a difference. Bruno ain't the same. I know you guys got a lot to say on that.
I just think it will be a big test. I think Spurs is maybe a bigger test because they're going to completely just try and lock off the stadium completely. Yeah. But, you know, I think this will be an interesting one, and I think we'll get it done.
Okay. Alex, I know you wanted to say something on that. Let's bring it back up. What you got to say on this? And the question as well about Newcastle.
I just think you just cannot compare Bruno to KDB. I think it's just pointless. I mean, Bruno does what Bruno does in his own way, and he contributes to the team. I just think that that comparison always just struggle with, because it's like comparing apples and oranges. It's not the same thing. So yeah, let's just not do that. Let's compare like Messi. You know, comparing Messi to who?
Marcus Stewart.
Alan to Maxwell, like, let's just stop. Like,
he ain't Messi, no. Sorry, Alex.
It's not that far off. Come on.
Mate, he scored 30 goals in the Premier League season once for Ipswich, so he ain't that bad, but he ain't Messi, mate. You know what I mean? Come on.
But Alex, what you got to tell me on this Newcastle? Are you feeling the same thing? You know, they did have a draw with Man City, and they played them off the park for large parts of that game as well.
Yeah, and I think even if you, like, going back to last season as well, and having Eddie Howe there, it's just he's really the few players that he's brought in just made like an instant change for that team. And I think they're galvanized, like they've got new ownership and the fans are up for it. I mean, imagine like you're in Newcastle and everyone in Newcastle supports this one team. It's just the spirit up there is just, it's crazy. But they are coming to Old Trafford, so I feel like we're going to see them and how they respond to us there. And I'm not saying that they can't come away with some points, but I'm hoping that they don't. I feel like for me that the danger men are probably like Cher and also Trippier, because those two can score free kicks. So that's like if they can do that, then that's definitely like danger points for us. And I think it's also the pace as well of St. Maximin, and how is Dalot going to be on that side? I can't remember who's got who.
Yeah, so
Dalot. So, and like Dalot's been a bit iffy for me lately in terms of him. He just keeps making so many slip-ups and errors and mistakes, and so that could potentially be really costly for us. So I think it's going to be a tough game, but again, I still feel like we could edge that. I feel like we have a really good defensive partnership now with like Lindelof has come. I didn't even think Lindelof was going to be like better than he was right now. So I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it could work, but we'll see. Sunday's coming. I feel like that for me, that was going to be the one point that we were going to get out of all of like, when I said 7 out of 9, I think that's going to be the one point that we'd get in the 6. The other
we're beating Spurs and Chelsea. Go on. Big call. I love it. I love that.
Don't talk about that yet. Don't talk
anyway,
about
sorry, but yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think this game will be tough, but yeah, we'll see on Sunday.
So Garf, Exhibit said this. I mean, why we look back at last season of Bruno when we talk about Ronaldo and not seeing his last season? What does this mean?
I think it's someone who's big on Ronaldo. Listen, Ronaldo's one of the greatest players, if my opinion, the second greatest player to ever do it behind Zinedine Zidane. He's the greatest striker of all time. But mate, age isn't just a number when you're an athlete. It really isn't. And at 38, I saw it yesterday. I was going to come on to this when we were talking about it, but quickly. I saw it yesterday, man. He is not. I didn't think he played that well yesterday. I think that I thought he was all right. You know what I mean? He doesn't suit our system. Like I keep saying, you put him in Man City's team, he's scoring 30 a season because he's a beast. You know what I mean? You send him back to Real Madrid, he's scoring 25, 30 goals a season because he's a beast. But in this system, it just don't work. So yeah, it's not about Ronaldo. It's just that he don't work. He's still amazing exhibit. He really is. But yeah, it's just that, you know what I mean? Like Bruno, I'm not that hard on Bruno either. I know a lot of people think Bruno's awful at the moment, but yeah, I'm just a nice guy, obviously. You know what I mean? As for Newcastle, we're going to smash them, mate. It's Newcastle, Old Trafford. I don't want to hear none of this, mate. It's Newcastle, Old Trafford. It's the Magpies. I don't care who they've got in their team. They're awful. No, you know what? I'm pleased for how. It's nice to see Newcastle, a real historic club that's won nothing ever, getting back on the big stage. Their fans, like I say, their fans need it because they've been banging on about Newcastle ever since I was born and never seen them do nothing. You know what I mean? So 55,000 fans need it. It's going to be a tough game, but it's still Newcastle Old Trafford for me. We're flying. They've only won their last 2 games. The rest of them have been draws and defeats. Like I got 3-0 in my head, 3-1, 3-0. Like I see us absolutely dominating them at Old Trafford. I really do. I'm going to have to eat humble pie on Sunday when I do the host match and get beat 4-0. You know what I mean? But no, look, I think we smashed them. It's Newcastle, man, and we've got the all firing Marcel, Rashford, Anthony Sancho front four that we're talking about in rotation. Yeah, 3-4-0 for me. Really is.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say if we bring Varane back, I think we stand more of a chance being better at the back, more tighter. I think Lindelof has done a good job coming in. I think we do need to sharpen things up a bit more, tighten up a bit more, because against Ammonia, they should have scored, to be fair. That was down the side, outpaced by Lindelof, got outpaced by Bruno. I think it was Bruno. And the guy should be crossing that in. No, he's not crossing that in. I was like, that's a goal. Oh my God, he didn't pass it. Oh my God. I was like, wow, unbelievable. That is criminal.
How fuming would you be? Nathan, if someone didn't give you that ball?
Yeah, you go jail for that. The police will be waiting for you after the game. That's ridiculous. So that is mad. That's what happened with me and Jason Roberts, by the way. So against Ipswich, we're playing at home, and I got down the right, and I got in, cut in, and I saw the bottom corner, and he's there just on the left, open goal, and I put it bottom corner, I missed just wide. He didn't speak to me, bro. He didn't speak to me after the game. He went, He went crazy. How the hell can you not pass me the ball? Went after the game. We live in the same block of flat apartment, yeah. And we go in training every day together in the same car. So we go in, don't talk to me at all. But we're rooming together the next away game, the following week. He didn't speak to me all week. Didn't come in the car with me all week. But we play FIFA in the room. So we got in the room, we sat down, and I put the PlayStation in, and the telly was old. It had no HDMI port. And we was like, what do we do now? We're going to have to chat. So we're just going to play without talking to each other. But then we sorted it out, but he was proper mad with me. I never, ever did that ever again because of that. And that was what you call one of those situations just there. That's ridiculous. You can't do that. And I did it, and I know how it feels. So, yeah, I wanted to just dig a hole and just get in there. I'm telling you, it was the worst feeling ever.
I love that. That was good story time. Love that.
We were going to play FIFA, but the wire weren't there, so we just sat and talked over a cup of tea.
Yeah. I'm telling you exactly how it went. What should we do now? We're going to have to talk, aren't we? That's what he said to me.
We're going to...
talking to me again, finally. So, yeah, that was funny, man. I'd have to clip that and send it to him, actually. So, yeah. We just beat Ammonia. I'm worried about playing Newcastle. Come on. Think about it, Eric. We had chance after chance. We are not going to do that too often where you have that much amount of chances and don't score. That should never happen again, really. You shouldn't have 30-something chances, clear cut, and the keeper saving shots. Like, we should have shots where no keeper can save them.
Yeah.
And that's what Marcel talking about, I think, earlier with the type of finishing we have. With the players we got, none of them are real potent finishers like a Van Persie. Even Martial is very good, but I still don't say he's a Van Persie in terms of finishing. Them guys are elite finishers. Van P, your Agueros, your Van Nistelrooys, them kind of boys, oh my days. And your Haalands, them kind of boys. We need one of them kind of guys. And that's why, the talk about Mbappe. He's a finisher, and he is the quickest ever. So for me, he's young. he's the only player that can compete with us, you know, with like a Haaland being in a City. For us to compete with them, we need an Mbappe in a Man United. Mbappe. We don't get Mbappe, there's no other player that can compete for years to come. That's like the Cristiano Messi, you know. That's what it's going to be this generation. It seems at the moment it's the Mbappe Haaland who's going to win it. But yeah, anyway,
you'd take Mbappe, would you?
100%.
I would.
I don't care
Everyone
what
else?
anyone
Yeah.
says
I would.
about
I just, yeah.
I
I had to make sure because I've heard nah from people, and I'm like,
I
come
can't
on
believe it.
now, come on. You're talking about one of the greatest players of all time, almost. Now, yeah, he comes with a lot of baggage. Don't get me wrong, you know what I mean. But Man United just got to be strong and don't allow him to take the piss. Sorry, you know what I mean. Like it geezer's a joke. He's a ridiculous player. So anyone who says they don't want him at Man United, I've got Marcel. You're looking a bit like maybe not here, bro.
No, I want him. I do want him. It's just there's a lot of management, like player management stuff that you have to deal with, and I wonder if Ten Hag's able to do that. I haven't seen him. Well, I have seen him manage a superstar in Ronaldo, but maybe a young superstar that's demanding minutes and that should rightly get them. I don't know, because Ronaldo, you can still argue, say maybe he doesn't deserve them now. He's coming of age, but with Mbappe, he needs those minutes, and he's gonna want to dictate to you what position he wants to play and when he plays. And I don't know if managers are able to deal with that right now.
Yeah, like could you imagine him like stopping in the middle of the pitch because he didn't get past the ball and just
I saw that video.
Nah, but that's mad, isn't it? That's like a one-off.
Imagine.
I don't know why he did that, and that was the one-off.
He's got the power, though, isn't he? That's what at PSG. He's got the power to do that. At Old Trafford, you presume Ten Hag will have a firmer hand over him. You know, he comes with baggage. There's no two ways about it. Where does he actually? Is he through the centre for PSG? I don't watch French football that much.
He plays in a few of them, isn't he? He plays up front and the left and the right. To be fair.
So he could rotate with the Martial, Sancho, Anthony, Rashford situation anyway. You know, not rotate, but I mean on the pitch, rotate around. You know what I mean? It'd fit in nicely. Yeah, he's an awesome player.
So I've been seeing though, Garf, that he doesn't want to play up front, which is quite peculiar, because he doesn't want to play single.
Oh no, sorry, my earphones ain't working here, Marcel. Let me just get him back in again because I'm sure you said that Mbappe don't want to play up front.
Yeah. He wants to play out wide, and I can understand why, but it's just like it's strange as well that he doesn't want to play up front. And at Manchester United, we mostly want him to be a focal point nine, a Ronaldo, an R9 kind of player. So
yeah, if he's not coming up front, I don't want him. Simple as that.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, same here. I didn't realise that.
Rashford or Sancho then?
For Mbappe, as much as I love Sancho and Rashford, I'll drive them to wherever they need to be if we're getting Mbappe. You know what I mean? I'll pick them up. Yeah, no petrol money needed, lads. I'll take you there. Don't worry.
He is on 900 a week. Allow him.
Yeah, ain't Haaland on 800 something? Like when you work it all out.
Yeah, but signed for nothing, innit? So you can give him the money that you would have paid in the transfer fee. So that's fine. But paying a transfer fee and then paying 900, that's ridiculous. So what? Have that player in Garnacho.
That check.
Exactly. But we have that player in Garnacho. He wants to fight, but sadly he don't get much game time. Look, he's a youngster. He's not gonna. He needs to get his time. We do want to see him. We're all, waiting to see him come through and absolutely tear people's asses. I know it, and we'll hopefully do it if we were to get a win over Sociedad, and then we're winning in another game when we're up like 2-0. I'd see him come on for a few minutes, but I think Ten Hag ain't gonna give him no chances.
Why is that? Sorry to. Why is he not getting a chance then?
Because we need to win all the games and he can't afford to play anyone yet because we tried and we couldn't do it. So he's thinking, you know what? We have to go full pelt at this because we're nearly out anyway with the full team. So we need to really go for it, get ourselves in a comfortable position and then be afforded to play them kind of players. I think we'll see them against the lower league in the cup games. I think we're playing Villa soon. It's not lower league, so that might be a tough one. But again, it is
nice to see you think about Villa the same way we do here, Nate. They're a lower league team, Villa. Gerard, don't care, mate. Smash them up. Play the youth. Play the kids, mate.
Yeah, sorry. Green and gold until sold says Glazers out. Right, we're on to the last bit. We've not got too long left, so these are the fixtures coming up. If you can read, if you need glasses or a magnifying glass here for this one, but it's got here. Man United have got Newcastle on Sunday, and then on Wednesday at 8:15, weirdly enough, we've got Tottenham at Old Trafford, and then we've got Chelsea on the Sunday at 5:30. How mad is that? And then West Ham after that. Bloody hell. Oh, we have got a fixture list. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
got some to deal with, and I believe I'm just going to tell you now. I believe it may define what's going to happen for us this season because these are the teams that maybe in and around us. We have to show that we're going to beat them. If we can beat them, it goes to the final games. But if they go and beat us, I think we could be struggling here to try and get them positions. You know, when I was saying I think United will come here, there, and then Alex wrote Chelsea, and I was like, oh yeah, Chelsea. How the hell did I forget about Chelsea? They're quietly going about their business, winning games for fun, and I'm there thinking, where are they? They're above us already. They're still above us. So we need to beat them. We need to get ahead of them. Tottenham are in third. We need to get ahead of them. We need to beat them to not have them have any space because you know Liverpool are going to come good and start winning games at some point. And if they get ahead of us as well, I'm not going to be happy. So, Marcel, what do you think about? Do you think it's going to define our season if this happens, or do you think we'll be fine?
If we lose all the games, or
whatever happens, this period of these next few games is going to make a difference.
Oh yeah, 100%. Before the World Cup,
what happens this season?
Oh yeah, this is a massive month for us. It's a very congested period throughout the season. Like I was saying before, because even in November we've only got 2 games, and then the World Cup happens. You know, injuries. We don't know what could happen throughout the World Cup, and then that goes into January, and then hopefully, you know, there'll be players transfer market value going up, or hopefully we go into the market for at least 2 players. I think we're rumored to get Gakpo at least, and that would be 1, but you need maybe 2 or 3 during the winter period, because it's just been so many games. So yeah, this period is very important for us. I think we've played a lot of the top 6 already. You know, we've played Liverpool, we've played Arsenal, we're about to play Spurs. So it's looking what, and Chelsea's in that group as I saw in the games there. So there should be a nice run of games coming up, or you know, in and around at some point. So this is good that we've kind of survived against the top 6. We've done well, especially at home. I think this is an important period for us. But like Ten Hag's been saying, this is a squad game. And if the squad's playing well, I think this would be good. Very positive about what's happening in the next few weeks for sure.
Right. Alex, how are you feeling about the next upcoming games I've just read off? I know they're looking very tasty, very tough, and it looks like it's going to make a massive difference to the season. But what are you thinking?
Do you know what? Overall, I'm just really, really excited because I'm excited to see Ten Hag's coaching and what these players are going to continue to do. I don't think McTominay is playing in the next game, so I think he had 5 yellow cards. So I think he's out. Exactly. So it remains to be seen. Is he going to start with Casemiro? Well, probably. Is he going to start with Fred? So how is that going to work? And I think potentially that's probably why he started them playing last night together, because that could be what we're going to see in the next game. But no, I'm really excited because you look at like Marcel was saying, like we've pretty much almost played all the big 6. When we played Chelsea, like we've played them all. So then after that, we've got a good run of games. And I feel like even when I think about us playing Spurs, I think about us playing Chelsea, like I don't feel nervous or scared. Like I feel like we could dominate those games. I feel like we could win those games because I don't even feel like those 2 teams are even really settled. And I think when I watch the game with Spurs versus Arsenal, and even some of like Spurs' games in the Champions League, it's not been really solid for them. I feel like they've had to have a man sent off for them to progress and to do well. And even still, they've still had goals scored against them. So I feel like we could still attack them and take them apart. It's just whether or not we're going to turn up on the day, and whether or not it's in our hands, basically. It's like whatever we do is in our hands. So I'm just excited. I can't wait to just see us just go out there and just show the world like what we can do. And especially for Erik Ten Hag, for me, it's just going to show everyone. Because before he joined, everyone was like, oh, he's not going to be a good manager. He's not going to do this. So every time we play a top 6 team and he does well, or just any manager and he does well, for me, it just proves why he is the best fit for this team. So yeah, that's what I'm really excited for.
Okay, well, Garf, before I do come to you, just got a few comments here. So Rashida, MUFC saying we have to stop buying these players from the Eredivisie for F's sake. Buying some players prem ready from our own league. Exhibit says DGG, Lindelof, Martinez, Dalot, Shaw, Casemiro, Ericsson, Bruno Sanchi, Anthony, and Rashford. Is that all the players that we? Well,
no.
Your team starting 11 for Newcastle, isn't it? Yeah.
The GEA, yeah, Lindelof. Well, okay, you're going to stick with Lindelof, are you? Okay, all right. Well, Garf, what are you telling me? What do you think of this upcoming schedule? Looking a bit difficult, isn't it?
Big games, like you said, mate. Big games, difficult games. Yeah, I have to agree with Alex. I don't think Spurs are no problem. I think they've got. I think when you really scratch the surface of their team, it's not a good team. It's not a great squad for Conte's style and the way. Like, there's a few Bosches in there, but the fact that he's having to go back to Eric Dyer says everything you need to know about that team at the moment. Yeah, they've got Kane, they've got Son. You start struggling after that in my mind, you know what I mean, about who their best players you could say are a threat to our team are. So I'm not that worried about them. I'm never worried about Newcastle. Yeah, they might get a win against us, but I doubt it at Old Trafford. Chelsea, that's a different matter entirely. Any given Sunday, their team is ridiculous as well. If they click, then they could actually challenge Man City. They really could. But at the moment, it hasn't quite come into effect. So I'm going to go with Alex. I could see a good 7 points coming out of this. 2 wins and a draw out of them 3 games. We win the 2 Europa League games as well that are going on. And then knowing us, we'll go and get beat by West Ham after all that greatness. Throughout all of that period, we'll go and lose 1-0 to West Ham, last minute goal from Bowen or something, won't we? So, yeah, no, I'm confident. And I'll tell you what, Alex has just given me some enthusiasm as well. That enthusiasm is infectious because I'm ready now as well. I'm hyped for these games now. So, 7 points from them 3. I can easily see us doing it. As long we haven't played badly. I know the Man City game was a demolition, but still, that's what they're doing it to everyone pretty much. And we were naive in that game. Apart from that, we played well. We were unlucky against Sociedad. That penalty was never a penalty in a million years. And the first 2 games were a learning curve. So in reality, in my mind, Ten Hag hasn't actually had a bad game yet after the first 2. And what Marcel was saying earlier, golden touch with the subs, the squad depth that we've got, especially in the attacking positions. Defense is a little dodgy, but still, look, we're strong, man. We can take all 3 of these teams. We really can. All right, 9 points, Alex. I'm raising you. I'm going 9 points now. 9 points out of these 3 games. Yeah, I can see it being a test for Dallo. I can see it being a test.
You know what? I agree with you guys. I think there's everything to be optimistic about. Everything that we're seeing from Ten Hag, what decisions he's making in games, the starting lineups he's picking, the subs when he brings them on. Everything seems to make sense. And the only game we've lost is a game where we played against unplayable things that game. It's like no matter what you do, you can't stop that. Like, I don't care what anyone says. No one was to blame for us losing against them. We just got battered by the better team. We just can't do nothing about it. We just need to get closer next year. I know we can be better defensively, a bit tighter, maybe set up a bit more pragmatic in that game and just take our licks anyway and a few less hit licks than we would have. But end of the day, we was always going to get beat by Man City. Playing at that level, you know, we normally need a Man City to not be playing well and to miss some chances and us to get the first goal up for us to stand a chance against them boys. They scored early doors and it was floodgates open. See you later. So end of the day, apart from that, we've been on it after the Brentford game. So I believe you guys. I'm believing with you guys. We are going to beat them all. We're going to beat them all. And I trust Ten Hag to pick the right side. So even though I'm saying I want Varane to come in and we're going to win, you know, usually I say, let's see the side first. But I actually think the guy's going to pick. Ten Hag is going to pick Varane. He's going to put him in there. He's going to have Casemiro with Eriksen and Bruno. And then that front three is going to probably be, if Martial's fit, you're probably going to see. I'm talking about the preview here, so leave it out. So
quickly, just before we go there, in my mind, out of all of these games, I don't even agree. The biggest game for us is that Sociedad game because we don't want none of that smoke of playing the Champions League knockout in the next game. I don't think so. As much as the league games are important, I think the Europa League's a real chance for us to win a trophy this year. So, I'd go for the Sociedad game in the big one.
I do want to play a big team, though. You know, I just still do want to play a big team and hopefully win it.
Barcelona's coming. Don't worry.
No.
Can I say something though? Can I say something on that though, Garf? Don't you think do you think it would be better for us to get out of the Europa League and focus on the Prem? Do you think that's a better for us? If we go out the Europa League, that allows us now to focus. That allows Ten Hag to prepare his games, training, everything. Does that get us into that top 4 spot, which is maybe more important for us? Or should we be fighting on all fronts? I don't think we have the strongest squad.
We haven't got that now, Marcel.
Yes, I think we're going to beat Villa. We were talking about beating everyone. I think we're going to beat Villa in the Cup, which means we go into the next round of that. I think we're going to be very successful in the Europa League, which means we go into the next round of that. I think Ten Hag wants to set up these players to win every single Premier League possible. That means we're fighting on all fronts. I don't think we have the squad to fight on all fronts. So is it better for us to be out of that Europa League? or does it mean, or do you think we should be pushing on and competing as far as possible into the Europa League?
I think
I don't know, mate. Yeah, it's such a weird, like, because I know where you're coming from, Marcel. Obviously, if we win the Europa League, we're in the Champions League, so we can miss out on top 4. It's a game of numbers there, innit? No, I'd still go for the trophy, even if it does mean we've got to fight on all fronts. Even though our squad, it literally, I know where you're coming from. It'll all implode at the end. We won't have enough stamina left in the tank to actually get over the line, and we'll come away with nothing. 6th place in the Premier League, no finals. But I think if you're in there, you've got to fight for it, man. I don't know about you, Nath.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should fight because end of the day, for me, when I was playing, I wanted to fight for everything. I wasn't playing Champions League, of course, but I played 46 games in a season plus cup games, plus then the other cup games as well. So you had the FA Cup, the League Cup, and we got quite far in them as well. Actually, top scorer in the League Cup as well with 4 goals, joint with 5 goals. So yeah, I went on a nice little run. We got to the semi-finals and lost against Man United of all teams. So that wasn't nice. But you always want to play in all the games, to be fair. And you can recover in 2 days. Like, that's what happens. You play Saturday. I used to play Saturday, then play Tuesday, then play Saturday, then play Tuesday. And I was playing every game. I played 46 games. 46 games? Yeah, 46 games plus the other cup games. So we'd play our starting lineup every game unless someone was injured. So I don't know why people think that players can't get recovered and fit and play again. You know, the fitness levels are the same. Like, I'm telling you, that in terms of the running, everyone's doing the same kind of running. You look at the running stats and the amount of kilometers everyone's running. It's the same. And players are even more fitter these days. So they should be able to handle it, to be fair. So I don't really go into that one where I think we should focus on one, because if we do, we're probably going to lose on. Let's say we struggled on the one and we decided let's cut them others short. And you can't, can you? You can't really cut something short. You know, I know what you mean by if we get knocked out, it might be a kind of thing. But yeah, it could be. But again, I hated waiting 1 whole week for a game, you know. I really hated it. It's so annoying. When you play on a Saturday, then you can't play till next Saturday. Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
I just think, you know, the squad needs tactical instruction. It needs to understand and be obsessed with this system. That needs time. That needs training. Games, it's all good and well of us playing games, and we're gonna. And when we're in top flight football, that's why Pep's team looks so good. They don't need to train. They know exactly the system. They understand it positionally. They can interchange positions, everything seamlessly, because they've been training for so long and they've been within the same group. This squad needs a lot of training. He needs to be able to whittle out and see. The games are showing, obviously, this one's not good enough and that one's not good enough. But he wants to train to get that synergy and them partnerships. You need training for that.
But then I also feel like as well.
Go on.
I was gonna say, I also feel like as well. Even when I was watching the highlights of the game yesterday, I was thinking even playing in Europa League is good practice for them, because you're seeing them trying to like create patterns of play. You're seeing them trying to score goals and who can do what where. So I think that sort of sorts that out, rather than them sorting that out during a Premier League game. At least that's an extra game for them against like tough opponents like that, so they can practice and then go back to the Prem and like really like put that into and win games. So I feel like it's still good for them to have the Europa League, even if we don't win. I think we can win it, but I really think it's useful for us right now. I really do.
100%, Alex. Just like Casemiro having this extra 1 game to get even more up to speed. I think that was even more helpful than not playing until Sunday. I mean, like Thursday till Sunday, that's well enough time to get back to normal to play. Well enough time. You have a day off on the next day, on the next day and do a warm down. Then you have the next day off, then you can go and play again. So it's no problems whatsoever. Is that like Friday, the next day off? Yeah, then you play again. Yeah. So it's even another day. So
I've got to ask now.
Go on, Garf.
I was going to ask. Is it quick? Were you as ecstatic as that goalkeeper last night when you played Man United in the semis, or were you a bit more professional about it? You know what I mean? Were you a little bit more calm and cool about it, instead of literally as the moment the final whistle goes, celebrating with Man United? We're through, lads! Come on, boys!
They don't call it the theatre of dreams for nothing, I'll tell you that much. Okay?
That keeper was so happy. He was at the game of his life, and United went through, and United won. He couldn't have been more blessed that night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the thing is with me is the manager changed at the club. I was top scorer in the cup, got through to the semis, but he didn't put me in the side. So that was Nigel. Nigel Clough came in, left me out of the squad. Didn't want me in the squad. I was top scorer halfway through the season with 9 goals as well. Didn't play from that point onwards to the end of the season because he wanted to get rid of me. So the minute he comes in, bang, see you later. You're not playing no more. So yeah, it was
Possibly,
a peak because I had the Sky Sports interview saying I wanted Man United. We got Man United, and I'm the top scorer in the whole thing, and he doesn't play me. And that didn't make no sense to me. But
Did you get no minutes?
No, wasn't in the squad.
You weren't even on the bench. Oh, wow, bro.
Squad. Not in the squad for the season, pretty much. So yeah, and we got them in the cup, the other cup as well. The week after, didn't get to be in the squad. So yeah, it's a killer. But anyway, the real question. Well, one of the questions that we had on here, the last question of the day, quick one, just the answer from all of us, and then we can call it a day. Can I ask the panel where you all think we will finish this season, please? And who are your top 4? Marcel, let's go.
King Eric, man, and Nathan wants to quick, Eric. That's a difficult question, Eric. I'm gonna say we finished
number 1.
4-4. I have to pick one position.
No, who's in number 1?
Oh, who's first? Oh, who's first?
Yeah.
Oh, City will win this season.
Yeah.
Who's
number two will most probably be Chelsea Football Club potentially.
Okay,
yeah.
number 3.
Number 3 is gonna be Liverpool. Number 3 will be Liverpool.
And number 4?
Number 4 will be Arsenal, Man United competing. I'm still waiting for Arsenal to drop off.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
that's coming.
Okay, Alex, go on. Do you need to say something more, Marcel?
Yeah, I don't need to say 5. I don't think I need to say 5. I think Man United might be 5, but
4th and 5th.
5. Yeah, 4th and 5th.
Alex, who's your number 1?
So number 1 is City.
That's everyone's number 1. Yeah, who's number 2?
Yeah, it's just that number 1. So number 2, I'd go with Chelsea as well. Number 3, I'm saying United, and number 4, I'm saying Arsenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garf, what you got? 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Man United winning the league after a decisive last-minute win. No, obviously City are running away with this thing. You know what I mean? For me, Arsenal, it all comes down to, and I know Arsenal fans hate hearing this, but they haven't been tested yet at all, really. The one they had was against Man United, and they lost. Liverpool are nothing at the moment. So their crumble can happen at any given moment. If it doesn't, then they're good value, really are. But I don't see them finishing second. For me, yeah, it's Man City. Then I'm actually going Chelsea as well for that. And then Man United. I'm going Man United third, and then fourth. Whichever one of the loser teams comes fourth. You know what I mean?
Wow.
No, I'm going Man United third though. I'm going Man United third. Arsenal fourth. I think we do Arsenal in the end.
Wow.
Really
Okay. Well, Liverpool. Let's remember where Liverpool are right now. They're many points off. That means the teams above have to lose like 3-4 games already. They need to win all them games just to get back up there. I don't see this happening. Albert Higginbottom has actually done exactly what I'm thinking now. I think Man City will come first. Arsenal will come second. I think it's going to be a fight between us and Chelsea. Third and fourth. And that's my 4. I can't see Liverpool catching now because I think they'll still have a few more games to lose. And then it's going to be an uphill battle for them. City walking away with it. If Arsenal stay with it, they will be second. From the football I'm seeing them play, there ain't no one else that can live with them right now. I can't see how Tottenham can beat them. I can't see how, even when they play Chelsea, I can see them beating Chelsea. I can see them beating everyone, to be fair, apart from a City. So everyone's capable of beating everyone. But look, that's what I've got there. So Exhibit says City, Spurs, Arsenal, United, then Chelsea. Wow. Okay. No worries. Any final comments?
Did any of us put Spurs anywhere near this? Did any of us put Spurs anywhere near that top 4 conversation? No, I didn't think so. I
was just gonna say, like, I just cannot handle City getting 3 Premier League wins in a row. That's hard to take.
Would that be in a row? Would that be 3 in a row now?
Yeah, it'll be 3 in a row. But I also they cannot get a 4th. So we need to fix up. Like, we need to, and the rest of the teams, they need to like sort themselves out because I just can't. Except Liverpool, they can't win either. But that's what I'm saying.
We're not going to stop the train for a little while.
Can anyone see anyone stopping Man City this season though? No,
not possible.
Nothing.
Maybe Chelsea could have a good game against them potentially.
Good game.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Arsenal as well. Arsenal have got to play them. So I mean,
I'd love to see that one.
I'd love to see that as well. I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah,
after Old Trafford, I want to see as well. After Old Trafford, I want to see us play them.
Yeah. But you got the Spurs fan who always keeps coming in here talking about Spurs. saying Spurs position second.
Why?
You crazy? You absolutely.
That's such a Spursy thing to do as well. Being like, we're definitely finishing second and bigging it up.
Hey guys, we are gonna continue going. I know what it's like here. We're gonna keep going and going and going. So let me just wrap this up by telling you guys when the next game is. The next match is on Sunday, of course, and you're gonna see me and Garf for the preview tomorrow at 6. So I'll see you guys there. But it's been a great chat today, guys. It's been very interesting for me. I hope for you guys in the comments, it's been amazing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I think I've seen some new names in here. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications, guys. And I hope you guys enjoy my new outro. I hope you like the intro as well. But yeah, look forward to seeing you guys next week. And if I can find the outro, we can get out of here.
Is that what his stalling was?
Yeah.